Hello everyone, it has been a hot minute since I've done a video, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I said I was going to be picking up the pace with doing them, it hasn't happened, I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to make a video today because it's something that nobody's talking about at all, and I don't think anyone is going to talk about for a long time, so I thought this would make a perfect topic for a video, and that is, what do you guys reckon that Infinity Ward is going to do next? So, if we're looking back at their last game, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare didn't sell very well, it's not popular with the fans. I'm pretty sure the CEO of Activision even came out with an official speech and even said the sales weren't very good, that the space setting didn't resonate with fans, I think is the word he used for it. And yeah, basically it was a bit of a fail. So coming off of that, I want to know what you guys think they're going to do next, because Infinity Ward were funny enough in exactly the same situation 3 years ago during the end of the release of Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. Call of Duty Ghosts has gone down in history as probably one of the least liked Call of Duty games, but funny enough for more opposite reasons to why Infinite Warfare is disliked, I would say, because I think Infinite Warfare is disliked because of its timing. It was released, I'd say if Infinite Warfare was released maybe a few years ago, it would have done better, but I think it's because the sheer amount of future-based Call of Duty games we've had leading up to it kind of tarnished it before it even came out. And then there's the fact it's set in space, which is a complete polar opposite to what Ghosts was, apart from the space missions in the campaign. But you can see their thinking there. They went from one extremity to the other and ended up basically going too far one way and too far the other. So Ghost was a little bit too simple, Infinite Warfare was a little bit too complicated. So next, the most logical step would to kind of be meet in the middle. But what would that mean in terms of a setting, a sort of a time era? So I would probably say Infinite Warfare 2 not going to happen. Ghost 2 perhaps, but I reckon what would be really safe now for Infinity Ward to do, because it's something they haven't done in a while, is actually play it safe. I think Ghost was definitely not playing it safe. I think that was a stab in the dark, a long shot. It was sort of like, we're going to do something completely new and hope that it gains the same kind of attention the Modern Warfare series was. And I'm pretty sure at the time, I think it was Mark Rubin it was, who said that he wanted Call of Duty Ghosts to be a trilogy like Modern Warfare, so have a Ghost 2 and a Ghost 3 to kind of round it up. I'm not sure if it was him who said that or if that's exactly what he said, but I'm sure someone from Infinity Ward said something like that at some point. Pretty sure they said the same thing about Infinite Warfare, funny enough. I think they said they were going to try and make that into a trilogy. I can't see that happening though, I really can't at this point. So if both of those series were scrapped and they went back to basics, so I think Ghosts wouldn't count necessarily as a modern game. I think it's more near future, kind of like Black Ops 2 timeline. And then Infinite Warfare's distant future, we're looking further than Call of Duty's ever gone. So if they were to meet in the middle, like I said earlier, and they were to do the same with the setting and the time era, then perhaps we get another modern day Call of Duty game that's not a remaster. So obviously the last one we had was from Raven in coalition with Infinity Ward sort of, which is Modern Warfare Remastered, which is now also releasing as a standalone game apparently, which is pretty cool. But that is certainly not a game that I think can stand on its own 2 feet as a main Call of Duty game. That's why it was kind of a bonus and it was bundled in with Infinite Warfare for a long time and to begin with. And I think that's the best way they could have done it, both for sales and just because, even though it got a lot of backlash, I think it's just because of the nature of the game. It's really not a big release, to be honest. I know a lot of people like COD 4, but I'm sure if you've played a lot of it, it's frustrating. It's a very frustrating game, very unbalanced, very broken. Playable, definitely, just frustrating. A lot of the mechanics in that game are not very modern, are not very favourable by today's standards. But anyway, I'm sidetracking now. So if they were to come back and make another modern day game, that I would assume they would intend to be another trilogy, because I'm sure they very much want to do that. It's become quite clear that what they want to do is establish another sub-franchise within the franchise, because obviously we've got Black Ops has now hit a trilogy, we've got Sledgehammer Games have kind of gone away from Advanced Warfare. I think that's going to be that, basically, like with Ghosts and probably Infinite Warfare as well. That's just going to be left as it is. I can't see World War II becoming a trilogy. It just doesn't make sense for that setting. There's not enough in that setting to drag it out across 3 games. But then again, you could say the same about a modern game these days. Like back when the Modern Warfare trilogy was being done, Call of Duty was in its infancy, so there was a lot for them to change with each iteration of the game. Now, I don't think there's that much, so I don't think there could be another modern day trilogy. But I did say in a few videos before, when we were speculating about what Sledgehammer Games were going to do next for this year, but obviously now we know it's World War II, one of the highest things on my list that I was thinking of was another Cold War era Call of Duty game. So I think that could work. I still believe that could work, and I'm hoping that that's going to be what Infinity Ward go for next, because that's something they've never touched on before. they've done a future game, they've done a modern game, they've done World War II games as the first Call of Duty games, but they've never done sort of in between that, so sort of pre-modern day, post-World War II, so in that Cold War era between sort of the start of the Cold War and the end of the Vietnam War. That's kind of when Black Ops 1 thrived, that's the setting it went into, and that was just one game. We've never had another game like that since, and I think there's definitely enough in that setting to drag it across at least 2 games, even 3, because if you think about it, it's got a lot more in that setting than World War II has. I know it wasn't as big as a war, and technically the Cold War wasn't even a war, it was more of a set of proxy wars, but especially when you throw a Call of Duty twist on it, because like it's like this whole argument that's going on about the swastika not being in Call of Duty World War II multiplayer and zombies and the female soldiers in multiplayer. Like, Call of Duty is an arcade shooter, so those things shouldn't matter. It's not about realism, it's about fun. If they ever come across a decision, a creative directive decision where they have to choose either realism or fun, in Call of Duty the majority of the time they're going to choose the fun. A campaign is the only exception to that. I think that's where they try and bring out a more authentic and realistic experience, which is what they're doing with Call of Duty World War II, and they've done with every Call of Duty since, apart from like the future-based ones, because a bit far-fetched, but they still try and ground it within reality. Like, they try and base the story of logical steps that humanity's taken to lead into a future of that kind of setting. But yeah, basically, I would love to see another Cold War Call of Duty, and that's what I think Infinity Ward may do next. Obviously, this is all speculation. I hope that you guys have something to say as well about this, so leave in the comments what you might think. But I'm gonna say Cold War. That would be really, really cool, and it would be like, it would definitely meet in the middle. Like, that's right between the kind of setting that they've done in the past and obviously what they've done with Infinite Warfare, and it's something they haven't done before, which is always good. I know that hasn't worked out too well for them with the past 2 games, but I think Cold War will resonate better with fans because it has to be boots on the ground. They can throw so many creative twists on it. They can put their own version of World War 3 in that, which they tried to do with Modern Warfare 3, but didn't really come across as well as a World War 3 as I kind of thought it would. But they could do that in the Cold War, so like an alternate history where, you know, nukes were launched between America and Russia and it was just apocalyptic. It could do something like that, which is kind of similar to Ghost, you know, post-apocalyptic setting. So there's a lot of things they could do with that, and I think that's what I would like to say they're going to do next. Yeah, I just wanted to get my sort of opinion out there. I kind of wanted to throw some ideas out there. I know this, guys, that, you know, Infinity Ward's next Call of Duty game is 2 years away. It's miles away. We still got Treyarch to come up next, which I'm sure they're going to smash it. But that's the whole point of this video, is it's something that not many people, in fact no one is going to do at the moment, because it's just so far in the future. But it's still nice and fun to think about, you know, because it's going to happen. Infinity Ward are going to make another Call of Duty game. You know, the studio hasn't gone through. I don't think the studio has suffered massive losses, certainly not on the scale that it did when there was a Activision EA lawsuit. So let's hope anyway that Infinity Ward is still together and are able to make Call of Duty 2019, which is very weird saying that. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next video. If you did enjoy the video, do give that subscribe button a cheeky push, and that'll help me out a lot, and I will see you on the next video. Hotel Delta out.